Story 1. Stop trying to make everyone happy and say no to people when you don't feel like doing something for them. Just be friendly and people will be friendly to you. Well, most of them, but those who aren't worth the hassle. Story 2. Turning off the news channels. I like to be informed, but watching angry people yell and lie and act like every little thing is the end of the world isn't being informed. It's theater that angers the blood. I'll read news, but will never watch Fox News, cable news network, or whatever else pretends to be news but is just idiots being outraged. Story 3. Weight training and cutting out unhealthy foods. I don't eat anything I can't make from scratch. There is very limited sugar in my diet, no ultra-processed foods, and no complex carbohydrates. I'm even getting to a place where my tomato paste, mayonnaise, and other sauces and condiments are being made from scratch as well. I swear the combination of a healthy diet and regular exercise has made such a difference in my energy levels, my motivation to do chores, my mood, my sleep, everything. Mental health and physical health are more linked than we realize. Story 4. Making the choice to be more positive, present in the moment, and worry less. It's not a switch you can flip, but it steers you in the right direction. Story 5. Removing people who didn't make me feel good to be around, stopped making myself so available, and stopped being a pushover to friends and family who wouldn't have even done an inch of what I've done for them or would have done for them. It caused a lot of fallouts and drama, but I've never felt better, more free, and more comfortable in my own skin. Story 6. Well, I definitely felt like I would get diagnosed with some type of attention disorder if I had kept trying to work an office job. I had a constant urge to switch to a different task, get up and walk away, or compulsively scroll social media during every free minute. I switched to outdoor, physically active work and rediscovered my ability to focus on a task for hours. I actually felt good during the day and felt like sleeping at night instead of being restless and anxious. I know attention problems can be the result of different underlying causes that may require medication to treat in some circumstances. However, the environment of a lot of today's work is against what humans evolved to do. Sun exposure and exercise regulate a lot of our body processes. A few hours in the sun, a vitamin D supplement, and a little exercise every day, if those things are accessible to you, will at worst do nothing for you, but at best, it might change your life. Story 7. The best thing I ever figured out was when I was in my early 20s. Is a situation awkward? Is a party not fun? Are you at an event where you don't like the vibe? You can just get up and walk out. Since then, if I'm ever not enjoying myself, I just get up and leave. Story 8. The Finch app is the first thing that comes to mind. Not even kidding. I keep myself honest with it, and it has helped so much, especially with executive dysfunction and how I feel overall. I am starting to make breakthroughs in my personal goals, relationships, work, and even motherhood, where I felt stuck before. Of course, it is not just the app. It is attitude and effort on my part. The app just helps me be more consistent in a cute and fun way. My husband and a couple of friends are on it too, which makes it more fun. I introduced it to my husband and he took off with it. There is just something about it that is fun, my cool little bird, and everything that comes with it. Also, just being more health conscious and reminding myself how much better I feel when I make healthy choices. Some of mine are drinking more water. It is cliché, but for good reason. Water helps deliver oxygen to your red blood cells, which almost likens it to an energy drink in my perspective. Stretching. Think back to gym class and those little warm-up exercises. Reach for your toes. Stretch your hamstrings, quads, triceps, neck, etc. Engage your core while doing it to get the most out of it. It is nice for waist shape, but it also helps to have a strong core when it comes to avoiding and managing back issues or back pain. You do not have to bust out the yoga mat, although you certainly can. These are things that you can do here and there throughout the day. Just a little bit, even a tiny bit throughout the day is helpful. Macro mindfulness. Not counting calories, but being mindful and reading the nutrition information when it is available. That has helped me make good eating choices. If I eat a couple of slices of pizza for lunch, I will go for an option I still enjoy but is more on the healthy side. Jotting down a little list of your favorite foods, arranging them either leaning towards healthy or not as healthy, is helpful. Giving myself time before going for coffee or anything caffeinated. I have learned if I let myself naturally wake up, I do not get that shaky, anxious feeling nearly as much, if ever. If I do, it is usually because I did not have breakfast, which leads to having breakfast. It does not have to be breakfast food or even a whole meal. Even if I really do not want to eat, I will commit to taking 3 bites of something. It is a small change, but I have noticed a big difference. Giving myself a few minutes of extra time in the morning, not rushing in a panic to start the day, helps dial down the general stress level throughout the day. Despite waking up just a few minutes earlier, I feel more energized, I guess from not being in fight or flight mode so much, especially at the beginning of the day. Reconnecting. Take those few minutes that I have been meaning to catch up with a friend or a similar social situation. Gaming together, going to the movies, or just a text or call. If it has been a while, it can feel hard. But chances are you will be happy with yourself. If you are not sure where to turn, try a group on social media about something you enjoy or are interested in. Or look for groups to discuss stuff or make friends. There are a lot of groups out there just for that. I would still encourage some organic connection when it is possible or convenient. This can help in the meantime, though. Relaxing. Dedicate at least a few minutes every day to doing something you enjoy or experiencing joy on some level. Not every single day will always work that way, and that is okay too. As long as I know that I sincerely tried, I will try again tomorrow and roll with things the best I can in the meantime. Exploring, learning, creating. Enrich yourself. Go somewhere you have not been before. Read a book or start that home project that has been on your mind. Get back into a hobby or try a new one. No big deal if you do not like it. It is a good feeling to know you tried something and to know that you like or dislike something you previously were not sure about. Estimated time of arrival. Sleep. That is a big one for me. I was quite literally an insomniac and ended up seeing a doctor about it. I still have to exercise discipline, and that can be hard, but prioritizing sleep and not staying up too late, particularly as a habit, has helped. I still push it a little too far some nights, but in general, I am much better and balanced with it. My mood is better when I get some good sleep. I could go on, but I already did. Sorry for the novel. I hope it can help somebody. Story 9. Antidepressant and a sleep pill. I also read way more than I had been for a couple of years. The pills help, but some days I'm still exhausted after 9 or more hours of sleep. Story 10. I am a bisexual woman and just assumed I would end up with a man anyway, so why bother? During the pandemic, I started dating women, and it opened up an entire side of me that had been locked away. Since coming out, I have felt so complete, and many of my addictive and self-destructive behaviors have diminished. Strangely enough, I've become much more spiritual and connected to God since coming out. And now I have a wife, so that's cool. Story 11. Reading more. I used to read a lot as a kid, but I've slowly replaced that with screen time over the years. Going back to reading is really peaceful and relaxing. Lots of modern media is a little too overstimulating for me. Story 12. I got off most social media. I only really use Reddit. It kept me from comparing my real life to others' fake online lives. I was also in sales and felt I had to live my life online, and that was exhausting for me. I've been a lot happier since. Story 13. I already exercised, but when I stopped eating sugar and processed foods, my life improved dramatically. I started with a ketogenic diet, but decided it was more sustainable to eat fruit and vegetables with protein. My mood is stable and I have steady energy all day. I can't believe I missed out on this all my life. I'll never go back. Story 14. Moving out of the city and into a small, rural town. The 24-hour noise, disrespectful people, and the constant anxiety of crime and vandalism were just too much. Went from a population of about 150,000 to a town of just under 900 people. Quality of life is a million times better. Story 15. Making a very conscious decision to not allow myself to become stressed over things I cannot control. I was often the type of person who tried to control every element around me, and being stressed when I could not. It's a great feeling, especially for your mental health, to just let things go and let them be what they are. And that's not to say to always go with the flow, but to just have the ability to tell when things truly matter, when they do not, and reacting appropriately to either. Story 16. Creating and sticking to my own social boundaries and knowing that my energy levels have changed over the years. Growing up, I was painfully introverted. I didn't come out of my shell until university. University was harrowing. Work forced and taught me to be an extrovert because it was rewarded. I burned myself out socially after several years. I'm back to being an introvert. I simply cannot be bothered to please others and entertain them. Story 17. Sunshine. I force myself to take a walk, go to the park, and just be outside in the fresh air while there's some sun. Seasonal depression is real, especially during winter. Story 18. I stopped drinking this year, not intending to help myself, but to support an alcoholic buddy of mine. I found that my selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor is more effective and keeps me much more level than I had been, and it seems like I've gained some personal drive as well. Story 19. I have 3 things that made the biggest difference. 1. Getting professional help. Seeing a therapist, although a luxury, was definitely something I benefited from. Quitting my toxic job. Leaving that pit of despair made a world of difference. Cleaning the house. Your environment is an extension of your mental well-being. Having a clean and tidy house has allowed me to relax. It's also a good metric for me. Story 20. Deciding. Indecision and procrastination are the bane of my existence. I was just floating in the water, doing nothing in life. For some time, I wouldn't feel the warm touch of the sun on my skin for weeks at a time. I'm slowly getting better. Getting a job has helped, and I'm looking to go to university soon. Story 21. Choosing to stop being lazy about what causes me anxiety and giving more to my loved ones. Not more things, but time, attention, and getting things done for them. Doing the dishes, building Legos and puzzles with the kids, keeping the laundry down to one dirty basket, and putting the clean clothes away. I also decided to change my daily habits, like stopping smoking and only drinking when there's an occasion. Even then, it has to be a reward for staying on top of the things above. I try not to be so pessimistic and glass half empty about things. Drinking every weekend for basically no reason other than to escape the feeling of being in debt or having tons of dirty laundry or feeling like I'm destined to become a deadbeat isn't going to help. Being present and loving my current situation for the positives I do have, and working on the things I need to day in and day out, are what's going to make me happier and get my family to where I want them to be. I'm about 5 months into this journey, and I won't pretend to be perfect, but the small things are much easier to do. I've been told that I'm staying on top of things a lot better, and it's noticeable that I've made these mental changes. It's a long journey, but I'm doing the small things and have been working slowly but surely on the big things, like trying to get into a trade and taking on more side work to make more money. Story 22. Effing medications. Mental problems can be external, internal, but learned, or related to the internal hardware. Each of these has a solution, but for those where it's the hardware's fault, the right medications can change your life. Story 23. Adopting a pet. Nothing quite like having someone who is always excited to see you, even if you're just getting up from the couch for the 10th time to grab a snack. Story 24. Plants. I take time out of the day to check on them, care for them, and enjoy them. No music or television to distract me, just me and my plants. Some of them are outside, so I get fresh air and I get to hear birds chirping and bees buzzing. I recently got one of those pretty sounding wind chimes, so I enjoy being outdoors even more. Story 25. Running, veganism, and letter writing and burning. Anyone who hurt you or upset you, write them a letter to get all your feelings out as if you're writing it to them, and then burn it. Very freeing. My therapist had me do this. Story 26. I took the whole get healthier resolution to heart this year. I was tired all the time, drinking too much, eating like absolute junk, and not exercising, and my mental health suffered the most because of it. I was the heaviest I've ever been in my life, so this year I let myself be indulgent through the holidays. If I wanted to eat it, I ate it, knowing I was going to turn things around once the new year hit. Then my dad had a heart attack right after Christmas. He's okay now, had 2 stents put in, and is on blood thinners. I was already planning on turning things around, But this was a wake-up call for myself as well. I took the 2 days after New Year's off and had a nice long weekend, ordering takeout, getting that bag of chips, eating that ice cream. This was my last hurrah before I really turned things around. Well, it's a month later. Just had a physical done. I've lost 12 pounds, and my lab results all came back great. I am pre-hypertensive, so I've gotten on blood pressure medications. I haven't felt this good in a long time. I'm exercising almost every day. I'm cooking 2 or 3 nights a week and eating leftovers the rest, really aiming for healthy meals. I've increased my water intake threefold. I'm taking a daily multivitamin. My mental health has drastically changed. I don't mind getting home and doing chores. I don't get home and immediately sit in front of the television, resigned to mindless viewing until I could go to sleep and do it all over again. My clothes fit again. I'm reading books again. Most of last year, I was so depressed that I barely could get to work on time. I didn't enjoy anything. I just wanted to sleep, eat unhealthy food, and play video games. I knew I needed a mindset change, and it has been one of the best things I've done for myself in recent history.